Welcome to the Beauty in Burnt Toast, the podcast where we celebrate the crispy, chaotic, unexpectedly beautiful parts of life. I'm Jade.
And I'm Jamie. We're two women doing our best to live with purpose, laugh through the mess, and talk about the stuff that no one puts on Instagram.
Here you'll find real stories, unfiltered conversations, and reminders that perfection is overrated, but showing up, that matters.
And whether you're building a business, raising humans, chasing healing, or just trying to remember what day it is, you belong here.
So pour the coffee, reheat the toast, and let's get into it. This is the Beauty in Burnt Toast. Welcome to another episode of the Beauty in Burnt Toast. Today we have with us Alisha Phillips. She is a mom, realtor, associate pastor at Desperation Church, among other things. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about the battle that no one sees. We'll talk honestly about the battles, especially women face in ministry, leadership, and daily life. Spiritual warfare, it's real. Mm-hmm. It's not just about casting out demons. It's about the things that no one sees. So I want to start today with a verse. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of the dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Mm-hmm. Ephesians 6:12. So that episode, that scripture just really spoke to me and kind of got me started on this whole path of having an episode about spiritual warfare. I know it's kind of like a tough subject to talk about, but before we get into it, just tell us a little bit more about kind of who you are, how you got to this point in your life.
Yeah. Well, like she said, my name is Alisha, and I identify myself first as a mom because, I'm Kinsley's mom or Dakota's mom, and I do all things mom, but I have 3 beautiful girls, and they're in all phases of life. And so it's really fun. It's really hectic. It's really chaotic. But we were not expecting, Matt and I, who's my husband. So just to elaborate on that a little bit, we were not expecting in any way to dive headfirst into ministry. It kind of was just an opportunity that presented itself. The Lord just really ordained that. And so I serve alongside my husband as the campus pastor under our executive pastor, Pastor Andy, at Desperation. And we have done all of the things, like you said, realty. He's done home inspection, firefighter. And the Lord just so graciously put us here. And so we are headfirst into ministry, real estate, momming and dadding, trying to be a wife, trying to balance all things. But yeah, very long testimony. But all of that to say, God has just worked so many things together for our good in this season. And it is very exhausting. I'm like sleepy right now. And I just drank my coffee.
Yeah.
It doesn't even work.
It's like, what's even the point? It's just
to make me feel good.
Yes, 100%.
It's a habit. It is a habit.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm okay with that.
It's running through our veins.
It is, literally. It is. But, yeah. So
how long have you been a pastor now?
So we have been at Desperation attending for 3 years and on staff almost 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's been that long. It's hard to believe.
It is.
And I wanted to mention, too, this is kind of in your blood a little bit because your brother is a pastor.
Yeah, he is a pastor. I love him so incredibly much. If you knew my brother pre-pastor, I'm sorry. If you know my brother now, I love him. I'm sorry. He's the most fun. And, he's the pastor of a cowboy church. How fun is that?
I love it.
How fun is that? So I don't know how we both wound up in ministry. Honestly, it's really strange.
So my biggest memory of him is him having his truck out in the parking lot with his dog, sitting there waiting for him until school was over.
Every day.
Mm-hmm. All day. He'd sit in the truck all day.
He would sit there waiting for the master.
He just...
Sorry, there's the left turn. We took the left turn
We took the left turn, but yes, we both, had a rough upbringing and so many variables and things that happen in life, and the Lord just used it. I mean, He just used it, and so we're both just head first into it. But yeah.
So, how many people does your church have go through the doors most Sundays? Y'all have a big church, right?
Yes, we have a fairly large church. So we have 3 campuses. We have our Coleman campus, our Hayden campus, and our Jasper campus. And collectively, this past Sunday, we ran about 3,000 across all campuses, with Coleman campus, which is where Matt and me and Man, I always get that confused. Matt and me. Where my husband and I, we are at the Coleman campus. That's our largest facility, and we typically are going to house 15, 1,600 on an average Sunday between 3 services, something around like that. Just depending, Christmas and Easter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to bump it up. And then school starts back.
Right.
People are like, okay, I guess I better go back to church now.
Yeah.
My kids are back on a routine, and we better go back to church. So, yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about your ministry and kind of like what you do at the church behind the scenes.
So it is a lot of behind the scenes. I've had the privilege and the honor to speak at like our women's conferences. The way that we do it, our Pastor Andy, he is the one you're going to see up preaching every Sunday. He is our shepherd. He is so much fun. He is just so much fun, which is why I think we gravitated towards him, because I love all things fun. Like if it's fun, you can count this girl in. But on an average Sunday, Matt and I are basically running operations. Yeah. So we are doing things throughout the week that are going to build teams. Like for me specifically, I'm over our missions. I'm over our cafe. I'm over our serve teams. Matt and I together oversee kids. So just like there's all of these different components that have to operate on a weekly basis within a church that it is very difficult for someone who is trying to lead and pastor the church to focus on. Right. And so they brought us in so that we could assist in that, so that Pastor Andy can have that time to hear from the Lord and speak every week to these people that are coming in trying to get filled up. So so that's what kind of I oversee, and Matt and I do several things together, but missions, serve, like cafe, women's things, all the women's things, all the things.
I'm like, that sounds like everything to keep the church going.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot. Like I never knew until I got into it.
Yeah,
like,
that's a hefty task.
I mean, sitting in our production meetings and you're like, you have to count things down to the second of when we're going to transition, what light is going to come on, who's going to go out and do this. And I'm like, I thought y'all just got up there and sang.
It just happened.
There's so much that goes into it. And, one of our core values is fun, but one of them is also excellence. And we want people to come into our doors at our church, and we want them to feel like they're at home, like there's nothing that they can have to do, that they come in, everything is very simple. And so we work very hard on just trying to give everyone just that at-home, excellent experience.
That's good.
Yeah.
So let's dive straight into this.
Perfect.
So
Ready.
At what point did you realize that spiritual warfare was a real thing?
Very early on. I mean, I don't know why. I think the Lord has really given me, and I don't say this very arrogantly, but I just have always been able to discern things really well. I think part of it is my upbringing and just really having to figure things out on my own, having to read people on my own. I mean, we grew up in church, but by no means was our family just kind of like leading us in all of these things and teaching us all of these things. But I grew up in a home with an alcoholic, and I remember probably 6 or 7 years old, and this is a story I always tell, and it just still gives me chills. And it was in a night of just kind of a drunken stupor, and I was sitting behind the couch because there was an argument going on, and I really felt like the Lord just like sat down beside me. And I mean, I was just sitting there with my little bear behind the couch, and there was just lots of yelling, and I felt like the Lord just sat down beside me, and he just started like telling me, hey, it's okay, I'm with you, and you can always call on my name. And it was in that moment that I recognized that what was going on, there's the physical element of things, as obviously this person has an addiction that they're walking in, and I'm not processing it this way as a 6-year-old, but that there are things that are out of our physical control. And I just recognized that then, and I had so many more of those encounters just growing up, to where I could, have this compassion and this love that I just have for, I think it's because I'm a people pleaser. Honestly, I want to love everybody, and I want everybody to love me. Like, let's be friends. But it's a gift and it's a curse, because I want to see the best in everyone. And I think I see a lot of potential in people, but I can also just, I don't know, I can just feel when I'm like, there is something that is blocking you from getting you to where the Lord truly wants you to go. If that makes sense. And so all of that to say, just very early on, and it has kind of followed me my whole life.
I feel like we are in a day and age where it's very much a don't peek behind the curtain mentality. Like, it's like a look over here, look over here. No, don't look at that. Don't look at what's going over there, but look at this. And like, I was listening to a podcast this morning that was even talking about astrology, chakra, yoga, like everything new age. And I feel like that kind of falls into the same, like, look over here, it's very innocent, but what is that letting into, like, what doors being open with that?
Absolutely.
So let's just talk about, in your pastoring, kind of what have you experienced and seen from people?
How real can we be on this podcast?
Okay, that's one of the reasons I called you out, because I know your Facebook is very real. You post all of the mom things, so get real. I have seen some absolutely bizarre, and well, I guess you would say bizarre. It's just real. It's just real stuff. I have always tried to just truly and genuinely be my authentic self. I mean, I've been in seasons of hiding or maybe insecurity and all of these things, but I want to reveal to people that, hey, this is just me. I may be in a ministry position, but I'm really messed up. Like, I'm a hot mess express. The reason that Jade reached out to me, because there was a post one day to where I went to church. I went to the church on staff meeting day, and I forgot to put my shoes on, right? Like, I showed up to work and I didn't have any shoes on. And I was like, how did I make it all the way here without shoes?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
That's the burnt toast moment right there. There's your burnt toast moment.
But anyways, all of that to say, I think we live in a day and age, just like you're saying, where it's all about facades, but people really they're seeking out truth.
Right.
And a lot of times people just go to all of the wrong places, because they either don't know where to look, and they're just looking for something, and it's in us all, right? Because like, we were all created by a creator who wants to draw us back to him. But if you don't have someone maybe guiding you, or you don't have this revelation moment for yourself, you're going to seek it out in the things of the world, because they are so in your face. And we have seen the effects of that as a church, to where there are people who are, we've had literal witches come inside of our church, Wiccans. We've had, just all of these, even down to people doing the tarot card reading, tarot card readings, just all of these things, and they are inviting things into their life. Or you have people who are not dealing with traumas that maybe they don't even know they need to deal with. Trauma is huge when it comes to, we in no way say, hey, we have this big deliverance ministry. No, like, we want to see you set free. We want to see you be made whole, and we want to see you healed. And so we're going to get to the root of things, because that's all that it is. We don't call people possessed. I mean, there are people who are walking around with demonic spirits on them because, right, we wrestle with powers and principalities. Like, we don't wrestle with flesh and blood. And so I think it's just really important to recognize these things. You see these people come in. We have literally had people walk into our church and say, I have a demon and I need it out, into the foyer. And the first person that they see in the church, they say, I have a demon and I need it out of me. And we'll put our Coke and our crackers down and we'll say, well, come on in here. Let's talk about some things. And so, but the majority of people who are walking around, we all have things that we need to heal from, that we have suppressed, that we are ashamed of, that we are in hiding with, and the Lord he's purging those things out of his church. I'm seeing it more and more to where he's just bringing out the raw and the real. We have all of these people who are praying for revival. Well, revival starts with the sanctification process. Revival is going to start with people repenting for what's going on, or for, looking at these traumas and being made whole.
Right.
And so we see a ton of it. I mean, and I think it's beautiful because we now have people who were in our church who may have had, let's call it demonized, like maybe they did have some things, literally demonic spirits on them, that they have been carrying for years, and they've been set free, and now they're leading freedom groups.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Or, now they're leading women's groups, or, they are made whole now. And it's so exciting to me. Like, it's my favorite thing to just see people be set free and walking in their purpose.
It's crazy because so many people don't realize that, like, generational curses are real. Traumas are real, and you think, oh, well, I've always been like this, so I'm always going to be this way.
Yeah.
And so they don't realize that all that can be made new. You can be made whole in all that, and you don't have to continually walk in that shame or walk in what your family has always done or people have always thought about. I'm living proof of that. And so I love to hear that, because I go to a church that we believe the exact same thing. It's continually renewing your mind and sanctification, like you said, constantly making yourself made new. And there is hope.
There is. And what you just said is really important. We hear that all the time. I've just always been this way. I mean, like, you are stuck in that mindset. Like, you're speaking death over yourself when 100%. You say, I have always been this way and I will always be this way.
No.
Why? That's a choice.
Yeah.
That is a choice. And, you and I got to talk about a few things when it just comes to, like, there are some, I think, to point out, and I don't know if I can go here, but, there is a difference in mental health battles. And I think there's a difference in spiritual attacks. But at the same time, I see everything as spiritual. Everything is spiritual. We live in a spiritual world. We live, the word tells us that there are the heavenly realms, there are the earthly realms. We live in both. And, but the world is fallen. There's sin in this world. There are real mental instabilities and issues. And I think we can often say, well, oh, you should just pray about that anxiety, that depression. You should just pray about your OCD. No. You should just pray. Like, maybe you need to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you need some medicine.
I feel like you need to be in the Word. 100%. You need a spiritual leader in your life to help direct you.
For sure.
And you need a dang therapist.
Again,
I will say therapy is okay.
Advocate for
spiritual leader and be in the Word. Like, you need people around you to help you dig and figure out what is going on.
But even deeper than that, you need to have all these type of people around you, but also the people that you associate with need to have the same mental mindset 100%. That what you have. If you're going to always do what you've always done, you're going to get the exact same results.
Absolutely.
So until you change the group of people you're with and they have like-mindedness, and you're going to be in the same place for the rest of forever. It's hard. it is hard to choose right, to do right, to wake up every day and say, I am going to make this the day that the Lord has made.
Yeah.
Let us rejoice and be glad in it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I have to say that to myself a lot because I can wake up and be like, all right, today's going to suck. I'm going to make sure.
Words have power.
Here they are. Today's a sucky day. I didn't sleep good last
Yeah.
night. The kids were crazy when I woke up this morning, so I can guarantee that it's going to suck at the office.
they
Or
always?
I can say, thank you, Lord, that I have the ability to wake up and get my kids to school.
yeah.
Had a bed to sleep in last night.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about mindset. It's all
So,
about mindset.
speaking of the people around you, I met a lady the other day, and she was just telling me how at one point they felt like God was calling them to do church at home. And I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about that, because I
Yeah.
feel like
Community.
everywhere in the scripture it talks about community and the people you have around you, and I'm like, I don't know.
Is she doing like a house church, or is she just watching church from home?
I don't know. It sounded to me like it was maybe family led.
Okay.
So I'm not sure
Yeah.
the whole story behind it, but I don't know. It instantly, I was like, ooh, like,
I instantly think church hurt is real.
yes.
And people want to step outside of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you need that community of people. There's something to say about when you get together and you worship together, whether that's singing or praying or just being together in community. So I have a hard time with that. I have a hard time when I hear that too.
Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead.
Jesus models community for us, right?
Right.
Like Jesus, who is the creator of all, who could literally do everything by himself,
Right.
chose to bring 12 men alongside him to do that with him. It is a model of community. Now we've done house church, but it was within community during COVID. You know, like we brought people into our home, but isolation, going back to spiritual warfare, isolation is probably the number one thing. And we hear this all the time. Well, I can do church by it can be me and the Lord. It can be you and the Lord if you want it to, but I can absolutely guarantee you that it's not going to work out for your in your favor.
Yeah.
It is not. Like, we need community. We need people. And if Jesus modeled that, and he's the one that we're supposed to look like and replicate, then why would we not do that as well? So
Yeah, like, what happens when you're down in the dumps? Like, when you're sick, when you need people, and you've been locked up in your house for a few years, you know?
you turn inward,
Yeah.
and then you start having all of these things happen. Yeah, we see it all the time.
Yeah.
Isolation is no bueno.
So, is there any specific stories of delivering someone that you could share with us?
Oh wow, we've had several. We have had so many. Let me think. One that has been recent. Was really wild to me, because we had this couple come in, and they came in initially just asking for marriage counseling. We are not licensed counselors. We always say that. And so we said, we will help you work on you individually when it comes to your spiritual walk and just trying to help you heal. Well, this particular woman had 5 affairs on her husband. And they had just figured everything out. It had just blown up. They were in the waiting when it came to counseling and finding a therapist. And they came in, and she was just, I mean, obviously, it's fresh. It's new, right? It's salt in an open wound to be exposing yourself to people, especially at your church, your leaders. And so we just loved on them. But a couple sessions in, she told me, I don't know why I'm doing that. Like, I literally do not feel like it is me. And I said, well, let's elaborate on this a little bit. And she was just like, I don't desire it. Like, I don't understand. Well, we kept digging, and we kept digging. And what we found was that she was sexually abused as a child. She was sexually abused as a young adult. She never really dealt with those traumas because she didn't really think that they were sexual abuse, and she didn't understand her need for affirmation. She didn't understand her, things were awaken in her at an early age. And then there were also generational things on her from her grandparents, her parents, that she never dealt with, that she just brushed off. And so there were a lot of spirits attached to her, and we worked through those one by one. And I mean, sometimes it is like a literal casting out of demons, like we are using the name of Jesus, and you see like the vomiting and all of those things. But sometimes it is just as simple as recognizing, saying things out loud, bringing these things to the surface that you have just pushed down, because that is what happens. And I tell people that, but when you hide it, she had been in hiding for so long, and she was in that isolation for so long. And this can be on a large scale, it can be on a small scale. I think we as moms, a lot of times we're walking through depression and we're out, hey girl, you know, hey, and nobody would ever think I would ever be depressed, because I'm, you know, like I love everybody, everything's fun, everything's great. But if I'm hiding in my depression on my own, there are going to be things that rise up in me that I'm going to eventually need deliverance from. But going back to her, there were several things that were attached to her that and now she is honestly leading her marriage. She is, I mean, it is amazing to see the leaps and bounds that she has taken just in her spiritual walk and her accountability. We connected her with people who have walked through the same thing, and they are still together. They are working on their marriage. She has freedom, and there are things that doesn't mean that, oh, it's gone, it's never going to pop back up. No, this is going to be something that she has to recognize. She's going to have to wake up, and she's going to have to die to herself daily, because the flesh is strong.
Yeah.
But like the Lord is stronger. And when she recognized that, and that she had power and she had authority, because like when the Lord, when he ascended, he left his spirit here with us, and he gave us this authority here on earth against these things. And she was empowered by that. And now she's walking in that alongside community, alongside accountability with a therapist. And her husband is doing the same thing. But it takes an individual effort and an individual work on yourself. And then it takes you as a unit, as a whole, going together as husband and wife and hitting these things head on.
That's a whole nother podcast.
It's a
Marriage is hard.
Yeah, marriage is hard. And but when it comes to spiritual warfare, you know, that's where the enemy attacks. It's our homes, it's our marriages.
Yes.
And I want to be clear on the fact, because I felt like I was raised not really understanding that just because it's not just about unbelievers.
Yeah.
As a Christian, we can open ourselves up to things. Absolutely. Like we can open doors for things to get in.
100%.
It can even be like what you're watching on TV. Like entertainment is a gateway to let things in.
Huge.
Yeah. So I just, you know, I feel like the spiritual side of things is something I have only in the past few years really been digging into.
Yeah.
Because like I just wasn't raised like that.
Well, and you're told that, well, you can't be possessed by something if you're possessed by God. And so that's why we don't use the word possessed, but like you're going to be spiritually attacked for as long as you live. And if you are a believer, you are more prone to that because you're more of a threat. You know, you're more of a threat to the gates of hell. And so why would the enemy not want to come after you? And you are right. Like we open those things up a lot of times, but a lot of times we're just attacked unknowingly. And, you know, I was just reading earlier and I brought this with me, but in John 8:44, if we're just thinking about the enemy, it says, he was a murderer from the beginning. He does not stand in truth because there is no truth in him. Whenever he speaks a lie, he speaks from his own nature. He is a liar. He is the father of lies. And so even things like deception, even things like distraction. Somebody once told me, you know, we don't need to think of like these evil spirits like, oh, they're just everywhere and we need to be on guard. They're like germs. right? They're like germs on this table. Like they are everywhere, but I'm not walking around in a hazmat suit because there are germs everywhere, right? Like unless I'm going in for surgery, I'm not putting on my gear.
Yeah.
Before I go into a session with somebody, I'm prayed up, I'm geared up, I'm getting my gloves on, right? Like I'm getting prepared for that. But honestly, I'm just going to wash my hands.
Yeah.
I'm going to wash my hands before I take things in. And this is going to be prayer. I'm going to prayerfully consider everything. I'm going to prayerfully ask the Lord to reveal things to me that are going on in my life. That why is there so much tension in my marriage? Probably spiritual. Why can I not stop screaming at my kids? Like probably spiritual. Like, you know, a lot of times like these things are attacking us, and it doesn't have to be this big. People make spiritual warfare this huge thing, and it can be, but it's typically just like, girl, just wash your hands.
Yeah.
I mean,
know?
you got to suit up and put your armor on every single day
You
of
do.
life because there's so much coming at you from all different angles, especially we're in the world with people every single day. We interact. I mean, I guess if you're at home and you're behind a computer all day long, maybe you don't get all the things,
This,
but we are
all the
literally attached to it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's so good. That's so good.
And like you were saying, like he's not necessarily going to come at you with horns in the devil mask. Like
Right.
he's going to come at you by this.
Yeah.
Like I'm not in the word. I'm doing this
Yeah.
all day long. Like you're distracted.
The shows
distracted.
that are on TV now. I mean, it's
I have a very addictive personality, so I can only watch cooking shows, and even those are addictive. I can't. It's just too much.
yeah, and I'm like, yeah,
You
whatever.
don't watch
it's fine.
anything.
I
Yeah, we
don't.
talked
I
about that
know.
last week, and I watched too much.
I watch nothing hardly.
I heard that. I listened.
So, what is the overall biggest, I guess, issue or attack that you just seem to be running into over and over and over? In mental health, like what do you see the most of?
Isolation. And when I say isolation, it's not that people aren't getting out. It's not that they're not seeing people. It's that people, especially a younger generation, and I don't want to speak against this younger generation because they are hungry for truth. They are leading us in some of the biggest like revivals, and I mean they are hungry, and so it's amazing, and I'm so encouraged by them. But what we are seeing more and more of is more depression, more anxiety, more feeling like I'm surrounded by people, but I'm completely alone. And those things come from, they come from this. They come from scrolling. They come from comparison. They come from being deceived constantly that we are not enough, that I don't have enough. It's very consumeristic.
Yeah.
Even church is difficult for people because, you know, you will sit in a service and it's amazing to see the enemy even in a service, right? Like, because we'll start reading scripture and the glaze and the haze, like it's like some scales over eyes and deaf ears. If you're laughing, telling stories, everyone's engaged, and then it's just like they check out.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm leaning back. They check out when the word of God it is spoken, and I think it comes from this constant, instant gratification, right? Faith. Let me say this: growing in the knowledge of the word takes discipline, it takes time, it takes dedication. Prayer, it takes time, it takes dedication, it takes intimacy. And I feel like people are so withdrawn from that, or they are using their phones as the word of God. We're using these 10-second snippets of our favorite communicator, and we are applying that to our lives with zero context. We don't have a love for the word. And so when we hear it, we don't even know how to retain it anymore. And so what we're seeing in our churches is people are coming in, and if they are not completely entertained, they are put to sleep. And I see that, and I say that all the time. We are in a nation of people who are just lulled to sleep. They are lulled all the time. And so I'm praying before every service, that scales are falling off eyes, that deaf ears are opening, that they are aware of God's presence and that they can feel it and that it is penetrating the heart, because it is so hard for people to not be distracted. And when they are distracted, they are by themselves and they are looking at everything here instead of everything here. So we've lost the ability to communicate. It makes us anxious to think about sitting with a person. That's why when you go to a restaurant, if your person's not there, you're on your phone because you don't want to communicate with anybody else.
Yeah.
It's like a lost art.
It's so sad.
I love going with we have our like 60 plus luncheons and we go with them and they just sit there and talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, people don't do that anymore. You know, like it's amazing. They just love one another. And while technology can be so great, it has been such a hindrance to people's faith. And that is what we see the most. It's just hard for people to just focus.
Well, I feel like that kind of goes back to mental health too, talking about the older generation. Like, I feel like it's a part of confidence because they're okay with themselves.
Oh, for sure.
Like, they're okay sitting there in their bodies and just being there. And like, you have a teenager.
I do.
Like, I'm sure you deal with a lot of teenagers. Like, how do you help them? Like, do you see that struggle in your daughter as far as confidence and?
Yes. Well, she hates so much sometimes that I'm her mom and I make her do the things that but we are very big on affirmations about speaking positively. I'm not like, speak it into the universe and it'll happen. I'm not one of those people, but there's so much power in the tongue. And so I try to instill that into my children. And I think that if we would all, as honestly, just as a nation, and if we would turn inward as families, if we would start inward, I think we all have this desire to like go out and make an impact in the world. But I truly believe that my greatest impact is first within inside my home. So I am trying to instill things into my daughter, like, okay, if you want to date, what does that look like? Do you understand yourself first, right? Like, do you know who you are? Who are you in Christ? It's having hard conversations. And I think that's what people avoid with the next generation, honestly, because I think they're afraid of some of the questions that they will ask sometimes.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, they are seeking out truth and they're seeking out transparency. They want raw, real vulnerability. They do not want fake, and they recognize fake, and they will call you a fake.
Big time.
And so that's why, I try, and they see the worst of me with inside my home, but I try to be the same on the stage, off the stage, in front of a group, outside of a group, inside of my home, and outside of my home, because I want her to recognize a real and genuine faith. And I think that this younger generation, what they need more of, they need more mothers. They need more fathers who are willing to pour into them. And whether they have their physical mother, physical father, that's irrelevant. We as the church need to step up and leave our schedules behind a little bit and focus on the next generation. Pastor Andy, who is our executive pastor, he always says this. He says, my ceiling is their floor. So he is just so invested in the next generation. He wants them to go beyond where we did. And it's just kind of a lost art. Like, we just think, oh, well, they'll get it, but like they won't. They need us to pour into them because we're foregoing like wisdom for them. Like we need to be leading them. We need to pour into them, and that is what they desire. But honestly, I don't think it's their responsibility to come and say, hey, can you mentor me? Hey,
Yeah,
can I be?
it's not.
Like,
Right.
Why are we as a body of believers not pouring into them? It doesn't have to be I'm sitting down with you every hour and discipling you. It's, hey, why don't you come with us over tonight to eat dinner? And just like, hey, how are things going lately? Just to see them and to love on them, it makes such a great impact in our youth.
So the last episode that we had, I sat down with Leonard Morris and we talked about coaching. And that's kind of one of the things that we had discussed. Like, as a coach, it's not about stepping in and developing a winning team. It's about stepping in and pouring into these kids and how important it is that it starts with the parents.
Absolutely.
Because, as a coach, you can't be there through everything. You can do what you can, but I mean, teachers and coaches see what you're pouring into your kid. Like your kids are going to turn into you. So be careful what you're saying at home behind closed doors. And
Yeah, for sure. It's super important.
the next generation, we got to train them up right.
We do have to train them up right. It's kind of scary, you know?
so scary.
You have these little cute things, and then they just grow up to be little cuter things. And then they're like, I was just telling you, it's like I'm about to just send her out into the world.
Yeah.
I'm about to send my oldest out into the world soon. And I'm honestly excited because I feel like she has the ability to just shake the world around her, because I feel like she truly has a community that loves her. She has a mom that will never stop praying for her. And I know that I have authority to just break off anything over my, like I know, and she knows that, like, hey, we walk in authority because like we walk with the Lord, and there's nothing that he is not going to do for us. And so, I mean, we believe that, and that he's sovereign, and like she has already walked into situations to where she's been able to help the people that are around her, and that's exciting to me at such a young age. And so, school is scary, life is scary, sending them out into the world is scary, but like God is so big. He is just so big. And so I just, you got to give them to him.
So I want to ask, as a family stepping into ministry, truthfully, is there anything that you guys have experienced as far as attacks that stands out to you?
Oh, 100%. I feel like I don't know. I feel like we're always under attack anyway, but it is absolutely crazy the amount of dissension and disunity that you see sown into families who are in ministry, because like I said, that's just where the enemy wants to work, right? Because my husband sees the worst me, and he knows the worst sides of me, and the enemy wants to point that out to him all the time. And same for me with him. And so we have to be very mindful to just stay on our wall. And I'm not going to go into all the stories, but it's just, there is always something fighting against us, and we have to stay up there and be the watch guard over our family. And sometimes it gets us, and sometimes it's after the fact that we notice it. But just disunity within, parent-children relationship, there's just constant, you are always being asked to do something. You're always pouring out to everyone else. And so, it is God first, family second, then church. And it is very hard for ministers not to just pour into the church and then give your family your leftovers. And so we try to be mindful that my family is going to, my daughter's here with me today, because like, I'm going to do ministry, I'm going to do things, but like, I'm not going to do that at the expense of my family and my kids. But we are attacked from every angle all the time. I mean, there's just always something going on, and I just typically see it as a distraction. When that's going on, sometimes I have to stop and ask my husband. I'll just say, like, what is the Lord doing? Like, honestly, because there's something that the Lord's doing that the enemy wants to distract us from. And so we really have to focus on that. Like, why are we fighting? We're fighting for no reason. And so in our home too, we try to say, like, we fight for one another, not with one another. And I mean, so if we are fighting, if I'm fighting with my 5-year-old and my 3, that's who I fight with the most, right? Like, they have that spirit, the littles. I have to tell them, how do we fight? And they say, for each other. And I'm like, well, we're fighting with each other. It literally starts there, to where it is so chaotic that I can't even get out of the house and put my shoes on before I get to work.
Because your mind is
And it sounds so silly, but
Yeah.
it's like, it is that. It is literally as simple as that. It's like, how can I distract you? How can I start off your morning terribly. You show up to staff meeting with no shoes. That's
Yeah.
how I started off.
Yeah.
Like, and then I'm in my head, oh my gosh, what kind of leader are you? You're an absolute, you're just ignorant. Like, this is how
And
this
then
is happening.
spiral. He
And then
wants
a
you to
spiral.
spiral.
He
Yeah.
wants me to spiral. And so, but yes, since stepping into this position, I have so much more respect and regard for senior pastors. I love our pastor so incredibly much. He is on the stage and off the stage absolutely crazy. He says things every week that he shouldn't, but the longevity of his ministry and the success of his ministry, and really the reason that he has not been canceled, I feel like, is because he is just truly transparent. He is the same always. And that man loves people and he loves his family. He will take off on a Sunday to go watch his son play baseball. He is at practices, he is at games, he is taking his wife on trips with him. He is focusing on his family first because he was told the same thing in ministry. You focus on what matters first, and that is the Lord, and that is your family. And so he has instilled that in us as well. We have a very laxed environment, a very fun environment, because I mean, while ministry can be difficult, it shouldn't have to be exhausting and hard. And so we have a lot of fun, and we have people that model it really well for us. And so
That's good.
Well, that's what I was going
thankful
to
for
ask.
that.
When y'all are struggling, who do you lean on? Is it the lead pastor? Like, I'm sure you have a mentor that pours into you.
Yes, I have a spiritual mama who I'm so thankful for that I, received later on in life. But she's kind of like just a walking like quote book. She is literally a life coach.
Yeah.
And she's taking on some new spiritual endeavors that I'm excited about as well. But I honestly go to people. I intentionally have friends that are outside of my church. And one of my very best friends is who I lean on the majority of the time, because one, she is not one that is just going to pat me on the back and say, like, it's okay, and sit in my mess with me for very long. She's going to sit there for a second and then she's going to say, you need to get up. Like, we can't stay here. So my spiritual mom actually used to be on staff at our church, and she is not anymore. But since she is outside of our staff, that's really important to me. I do have people inside of my staff, but it's also really important to me to have unity with inside of our church. And those conversations, whether you want them to or not, can often cause division, and that's just a no-no for me, especially if there are issues within the ministry within itself, which it happens, right?
Right.
But yes, I always tell people, like, you need to have people outside of your church home that you can go to and that you can rant and that you can just let it all out. And then they say, okay, I hear you. That's really ignorant. This is what the Lord says. This is who you are. You are not, you're not going to hold bitterness and grudges towards these people. Like, you're not always anxious. Like, your world is not spiraling. Girl, just drink a coffee, go take a bath, and you need to reset.
Give you an outside perspective.
Yes,
Yeah.
to give me an outside perspective. So I have been very blessed with that. I'm thankful that the Lord has given me a lot of friends that I can lean on that love the Lord, who are strong women, and that can hold me accountable in those
good.
things.
So we're getting close to the ending. We would like for you to share. We kind of had like a burnt toast moment, but do you have something in mind? Burnt toasty. Besides
toasty.
forgetting your shoes.
Burnt toast.
Yes, besides forgetting my shoes. I will tell you, my burnt toast recently has been this car line.
Oh, sis.
Yeah.
Can we talk about it? Can we talk about the car line? Because I told Jade, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to be there on time, because yesterday the car line took 40 minutes.
It did for me this morning. I was
Okay.
like, why?
Okay,
Get out of the car.
Why? And it's just the kindergarten line. It's only the kindergarten line. But the reason is because I hate being late.
Yeah.
And when I get late, I get super anxious and I get super irritable. And then you try to find another way, and then that way's worse.
Oh, yeah, girl.
And
I
then
know.
it makes it
I
even
feel
worse. You know what I mean? And so it has literally stirred so much. I mean, like, yesterday going home, my oldest was like, are you okay? You know? And I'm like, no, I'm not okay. Why does it take 30 minutes to go 5 miles?
Well, I think it's the new parents. Like, if you're talking kindergarten line, I mean, you're talking people that have possibly never done car line before.
Yes.
I feel like after 2 weeks, it kind of dissipates.
my-
But I mean, you're
that's
you're
what
over there
some-
messing up the other line.
That's what somebody told me, that after a couple of weeks it gets better, but we do not have a busing system. So we don't run school buses.
Oh.
So 100% of our students are dropped off by car.
What school is that?
It's Coleman.
Okay.
Coleman City does not have school
I
buses.
didn't know that.
What?
I know.
Oh, we got to wait on the buses to come in and out. I got to wait on, and ours is K4, so it's a mix of people. Plus, there's pre-K now.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is like they're just loving on their little babies because they don't want to let them out. But I'm not letting them out of the car.
Get out, get out. I mean, I'm like, get out of your car seat, put your backpack on, like, let's go. So that has just caused so much tension in me because I like, there are things that I have to be at and it's not efficient, it's not effective, and I'm super like,
I
go
love
with
efficiency.
I do too.
I love efficiency.
But I'm pretty laxed most of the time. But there is something about this car line that I'm like, I want to walk in there and I'm like, this is how we fix it. You need to fix these 2 red lights right here that are holding up all this traffic, and then we need to fix the way that we're merging. It's the merge.
Do you drop both of yours off in the same place or different
No.
locations?
No, I drop them off at different locations.
Same.
And that's what's terrible. And now one of them is screaming because the other one goes to a different school. So it's not only that I'm dropping them off in chaos, the kindergartner, it's that then I have to take the one in pre-K to her new school and she's screaming, I want my sissy, you know, for the whole 20-minute ride back to her school. That's a mile and a half away. Yeah. So it's more like burnt loaf.
The whole dang
The
loaf
whole
is
loaf
burnt.
of bread done got burnt up in the oven. It is now ashes. It's cremated.
Yeah.
Well,
Loaf.
how is your youngest when you pick her up? Is she happy?
She's literally so fine.
Yeah.
But as soon as she woke up this morning, she said, are you leaving me at school today by myself? And I'm like, seriously, the manipulation right now.
Yes.
It starts so early.
So early.
They're the sweetest little angels, but I'm like, wow, like you are manipulating me.
Sour Patch
Yeah.
Kids.
They are Sour Patch Kids. Gosh, they're so cute though. They're just so cute and squishy, and I love them so incredibly much. But man, those little nuggets. So yes, that has been my burnt toast. And so I'm praying. I'm having to repent every day.
Every day. I am
Jesus.
so sorry. I did not mean to say that out loud. I did not mean that.
Today in the car line, I know that your spirit's going to be near me. I'm going to smile. My pastor always says, you know, the right hand of fellowship. Like, I'm not throwing any of those up. I'm going. Everybody is trying to figure this out, and I'm sure they're frustrated too. But for real, I'm
It's
mad.
just back to school. I mean, as a mom, it just messes you up.
It does mess you up.
But you know what you can do?
What can
You know what you can do?
Go get
when you're
coffee?
sitting in that car line,
What?
think of somebody.
Think
Like,
of somebody?
think of someone and text them.
You could.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
you
be
could.
like,
I'm
who,
like,
who
you
can
could
I
about
think of?
it.
I'm sitting here for 40 minutes. What can I do with my? Let me think of someone and give them an inspirational
Jade,
word
you're
for
just
the
so optimistic and positive. I'm like putting on my makeup in anger.
No,
Like,
I'm
I'm
listening to
completely
audiobooks.
zoned out because I've got Chatty Cathy in the car because she gets dropped off second, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, look at that car over there! Do you see that? It has 4 tires, just like the other car has 4 tires. Oh my gosh, Mom, have you ever seen a yellow car before? There's a yellow car." And I'm like, "Oh, look, there's purple." I mean, it is. I'm like, take a.
I read something the other day that said if your child talks a lot, that means they're very intelligent. And I'm like, my child is going to be very intelligent.
Very.
Someone has
Stop
told mine that.
talking.
Someone told
Yeah.
her that, and she goes, "It's because I'm smart, Mom. I'm
In
so
the
smart." And
mornings.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I'm like, can we just stop? Can we stop for a minute and let me get some coffee
Yeah.
in my system? My brain is just not.
Oh, I have to wake up an hour before mine because I am not prepared for that. I have to wake up and prepare myself for the 45 questions that I'll get from her bedroom door to the kitchen.
Yeah, we try to implement a rule that's like when I get up, I at least need 5 minutes because it's mommy. And I told my oldest on the way here, since she rode with me, I said, you can ride with me, but you are not allowed to speak. And she was like, what? And I'm like, you cannot talk to me. I need to pray. I need to process. I need to read. And then I turn on a podcast and she's like, I thought you were going to pray and process. I'm like, this is processing for me. Okay. I'm just kind of,
For me too.
Yeah. Don't talk to me.
It's kind of like, I don't know. You just need to check out sometimes. That's why I really enjoy my car time. And it's like in the morning it's crazy, but for me, car line in the afternoon, I enjoy because I have just a few minutes to just.
But I don't get to
I
do
do.
that
I sit there in
because I
silence.
already have my little one. So it's not silence.
Yeah.
It's, I want my snack. I want my milk. But she is so cute. I love all of my girls
Yeah,
so
keep
much.
those snacks in the car.
You do got to keep some knacks and Mickeys. Knacks and Mickeys.
What are Mickey's?
Milkies.
Oh.
My Milkies is what she says. So I'm like,
That's good. It's better than other things she could be asking
it
for.
is. It is. But, I don't keep milk with me all day.
Yeah, I know. In
And
the cooler in the car.
Yeah. And maybe I need to.
No. I had to
Anyways.
draw the line there.
Anyways, right.
Well, okay. So in ending, do you have a verse that has just meant a lot to you, that kind of has stuck with you, that you can share with everyone?
Man, I have so many verses, but I really always go back to just Romans 8:28. It's the one that's like plastered on everybody's wall. You know what I mean? Like the Lord works all things together for those who love him and are called according to his purpose. And like good does not necessarily mean that everything is going to work out the way that you want it to. It means that if you love him and if you are called, which we all are, like the Lord is going to work everything out just the way that it is supposed to for the glorification of his kingdom. And so what that reminds me of is I have to deny myself. I have to remember it's not about me. Like a lot of times the good is suffering, which doesn't make any sense, right? Like a lot of times the good is perseverance. A lot of times the good is having joy when somebody doesn't deserve my joy. They deserve my wrath, right? And it's just like, but God is working all of these things together for his good. And so my goal is to glorify him in all that I do. On a platform, off a platform, it doesn't matter. I want people to know that I love them and I love the Lord. And when I go down, that's what I want people to remember me by. And so I'm going to work all things, whether they're hard or not, like for the good of the Lord. And he's going to do the same for me. So that's it.
That's good stuff. That's the way to start the day.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I want to end this a little bit different. Instead of saying, if you like this podcast, please follow along. I want to say, if you're dealing with something, feel free to reach out to one of us.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
you have a prayer request, if you need assistance or connection with a professional, please don't hesitate to reach out and we will try to help you out with that.
Absolutely.
But I want to say thank you so much for
Yeah.
joining us today.
It's been so fun.
It has
Yeah.
been great. Yeah.
been great.
I've enjoyed it. Like I said, it always just, you start and you never know where it's going to end up.
You never know. I am super excited for what is going to come of this podcast. You guys are absolutely incredible, and the Lord is just going to do such amazing things with this.
Thank
Hope
you.
so many people are impacted by it. This is just totally amazing. So thanks for having me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Yeah.
So, final words. You were never meant to fight this battle in your own strength, but you were always meant to fight. So, stand your ground, put on your armor, and remember the enemy may be loud, but your God has already won. See you next time.